Welcome back to today's Explainer. If you've been following along, you know that building fluency, really getting comfortable in a new language, is all about taking consistent, structured steps. So today, we're diving straight into Day 8 of our Hindi lexicon and sentence foundations. We're going to expand your expressive toolkit with 10 essential new words that will literally elevate how you describe your environment, your actions, and your everyday choices. Let's get right into it. First up, our core vocabulary. Think of these 10 new words as your absolute foundational building blocks for today's lesson. All right, let's kick things off with our action words, the verbs. Take a quick second to look at the Devanagari script on screen, the Roman Hindi pronunciation, and of course the English meaning. I'll read each one nice and slow for you. Samajhna, which means to understand. Next up is batana. Batana means to tell. And finally, badalna. Badalna means to change. These three verbs are just incredibly dynamic. They take us from merely observing the world to actively interacting with it. Moving right along to our nouns. This is where we really start to build out our vocabulary map, because these words define the situations and the environments that we navigate every single day. Samasya. Samasya translates to problem. Next is tarika. Tarika is a method or, a way of doing something. And then jaga. Jaga means place. Notice how these words naturally kind of pair up. Like you might have a samasya, a problem, at a specific jaga, right, a place, and you're going to need to figure out a tarika, a method, to solve it. Okay, now let's look at how our adjectives and our special extra connecting word will really bring our practice sentences to life. Alag. Alag means different. Sahi. Sahi means correct. Galat. Galat means wrong. And then there's our crucial extra word for today, isliye. Isliye translates to that's why or therefore. And guys, this word is an absolute game changer. It's the glue that lets us connect two separate thoughts into one fluent native-sounding sentence. So, what does this all look like in practice? Let's start building real meaning by actually assembling the vocabulary we just picked up. Just look at how beautifully our verbs slide right into context here. For our first sentence, मैं हिंदी समझता हूँ. मैं हिंदी समझता हूँ. This means I understand Hindi. See how our verb samajhna adapts to samajhta to fit the speaker? It's like a puzzle piece snapping into place. Then, sentence 2, वह मुझे तरीका बताता है. वह मुझे तरीका बताता है. This translates to, he tells me the method. Here, our verb batana and our noun tarika work together absolutely perfectly. Let's keep that momentum going. Sentence 3, मैं अपनी जगह बदलता हूँ. मैं अपनी जगह बदलता हूँ, meaning I change my place. Try to make the mental connection here with jaga for place and our verb badalna for change. Now for sentence 4. यह समस्या बड़ी है. यह समस्या बड़ी है. This simply means this problem is big. It's just a really simple, direct statement utilizing our noun samasya. And these next two brilliantly illustrate how we can use our new adjectives to create contrasting ideas. Sentence 5. ये तरीका सही है. ये तरीका सही है. This method is correct. And on the flip side, sentence 6, ये उत्तर गलत है. ये उत्तर गलत है. This answer is wrong. Sahi and galat. Correct and wrong. These are, essential opposites that you are going to use all the time in everyday conversation. All right, bringing us to our final two guided sentences. Number 7, hum alag jagah jaate hai. Hum alag jagah jaate hai. We go to a different place. But I really want you to look closely at sentence 8. This one is a beautifully complex sentence. मुझे हिंदी मुश्किल लगती है, इसलिए मैं रोज अभ्यास करता हूँ. Hindi feels difficult to me, that's why I practice daily. So the absolute key takeaway here is how the word isliye bridges the gap. It connects the feeling of difficulty directly to the action of daily practice. It shows cause and effect, which honestly is a massive leap forward in fluency. Now it's time for some listen and repeat. We all know language learning can be, a bit of a struggle sometimes. And understanding the words, that's really only the first half of the battle. Training your mouth to actually speak them is the second. So it's time to speak the Hindi out loud. I'm going to say the phrase, and then I'll leave a short pause for you to repeat after me out loud. You ready? Let's do this.
मैं समझता हूँ, वह मुझे तरीका बताता है.
Awesome. Now just keep your pronunciation deliberate. मैं अपनी जगह बदलता हूँ. ये समस्या बड़ी है. Excellent work. let's keep that momentum going and tackle our contrasting adjectives. ये तरीका सही है. ये उत्तर गलत है.
Fantastic job. Okay, now for the master sentence. I'm going to read this one a bit slowly. Just take a deep breath and confidently repeat it right back to me. मुझे हिंदी मुश्किल लगती है, इसलिए मैं रोज अभ्यास करता हूँ. Great work. Seriously, conquering a complex sentence like that is exactly how you level up.
All right, moving on to our translation homework. Now it's really time to test your recall. We're shifting gears from repetition to independent application. Here are your first 2 homework prompts. How do you say, I understand Hindi? And how do you say, this method is correct? I'd actually encourage you to hit pause on this explainer right now, grab a notebook, and physically write your answers down in either Devanagari or Roman Hindi. Really force your brain to recall those verbs and adjectives we just covered. Okay, let's look at prompts 3 and 4. How do you say, he tells me the method? And how do you say, this problem is big? Think back to the nouns we focused on earlier. Try to recall exactly how we used tarika and samasya in our practice sentences. Write those down. You are doing great. So here are numbers 5 and 6. How do you say, I change my place? And, this answer is wrong. Try to piece the puzzle together. Remember the specific verb we used for changing and that specific adjective we used to express something being incorrect. And finally, our most challenging translations for today. Number 7, we go to a different place. And number 8, the big one, Hindi feels difficult to me, that's why I practice daily. I promise you, if you can write out that final sentence with the word isliye correctly connecting the clauses, you have hit a huge milestone in your language journey today. As we start to wrap up this Day 8 explainer, I really want to leave you with this ultimate takeaway phrase. Isliye मैं रोज अभ्यास करता हूँ. That's why I practice daily. Whenever learning feels like a samasya, a problem, just remind yourself of this exact sentence. Consistent, daily effort is the exact tarika, the method that leads to success. So, I'll leave you with this final, slightly playful question. Will you return to your place tomorrow to practice a different method? Keep applying today's vocabulary, everyone. Try to use these words in your mind as you go about your day. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep up the absolutely fantastic work.